Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with George Doolittle from Wells Fargo. We're at the Clearinghouse Annual Conference in New York and we're talking about cross-border payments. George, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So you just participated in a great session on cross-border payments and there was a lot of talk during that session about cyber. What's your take on the cyber challenge and how the industry should tackle it?
I think that the cyber terrorism, financial terrorism, if that's what you want to call it, is actually going to be one of the defining issues of our time. I think that if you wanted to pull out acronyms, you could say the IoT, the Internet of Things, has been compromised by the IOC, the incident of compromise. The challenge we have today is we have state players as well as digital criminals who are so good at this, and they're only getting better. And our own standardization in the financial services industry, which we've worked so hard at, makes it so much easier for them to do what they want to do. Where I think where you're going to see a shift, and where you just begin to see the momentum start to develop, is when people really begin to understand that they've lost their identity. And that identity could be lost. Let's pick the millennials. I have two millennials, one's 25, one's 28. They have every device known to mankind, but they've had their identity or their card number stolen now over 12 times between the two of them. They are much more conservative today about their financial products and services than they ever were in the past. And I think that that's going to begin to occur if you live in the United States, when you just notice how many times you get phished on a day-to-day basis, how many fraudulent phone calls come to you purporting to be the tax person, or we are being currently overwhelmed through every corridor and every channel by malicious efforts. And I think that for banks whose premises is based on security and trust, this is our moment. First of all, it's our moment because we must protect, and second of all, it's our moment because if we do protect, we are going to come out through this looking pretty well. But it's not evident that it's going to be that easy, and it's not evident when you take that out of a domestic framework and you move it into the cross-border space. It gets complicated further by all of the challenges that you see when different regulators have different approaches, different intelligence agencies have different views. And some countries may well be the instigators of the crimes themselves. So I think that this is, as I said, is going to be a defining issue of the next decade, at least in the payment industry. And it's an issue that all of us are going to take seriously because individually, it's going to come to harm all of us.
So on a slightly brighter note, there was a lot of talk during the session about innovation, discussion of whether the industry should reuse rails, like with the GPI initiative, or jump straight to new technologies like DLT. What's your take on innovation, and how are you as a bank going to drive the benefits of new technology for your customers and for your own business?
Great question. And I think that the first thing that I've seen in just a very short period of time is how much awareness has been built within the financial institutions around innovation. Needless to say, every financial institution has an innovation group today. In many banks, I can talk to my group in specific, my team has just completed an effort with our patent lawyers to put together a series of patentable ideas, of which we have several that are now in process of patent. So we've moved from a product development team to more of an innovation and team with an eye on what we can do from a patent perspective. What that results in is that we've kind of digested in institutions what it was that fintechs were challenging us with. The challenge was really around experience. They came at it from the angle of experience, where we typically came at it from the angle of processes and as I said probably earlier, if we did investigations well, how many investigations did we do? That's not really necessarily what the customer was interested in. So we've now moved past it. And what we're doing now is everything. So we are in some cases investing in companies through our accelerators. In some cases we're aligned with other companies. And in many cases we're onboarding what we've learned. Well, one of the things we've learned is these companies were very good at experience, but they never look behind the curtain in terms of what it takes to make things work. And so as we begin to do that, I see a lot of opportunity. I'm incredibly excited about this. I mean, it was after years of compliance, I wake up in the morning and say, oh, I have my compliance issues to worry about. Oh no, I'm going to go spend time in the innovation stuff. We're a pilot bank in GPI. We have been there from the beginning. We're a part of the vision group. We're very excited about what's going on in GPI because it starts with what we can handle, where we can deliver customer experience with products and systems that work today, with 11,000 addressable banks in theory. And over time, we have a strategy in GPI to layer in the cloud, to layer in APIs, to layer in DLT, to continuously enhance that offer to the banks. So that's what makes me excited. I think it's going to be a successful offering, but it's not going to be without its challenges because we're going to have to change the thought processes of banks around the world, and the culture is based on certain revenue models and certain processing models. This is going to break up a few things, and I think that there's a will in the community to do that.
So you mentioned customer experience. What's your vision for customer experience, and what are you looking to deliver in the future on this?
Well, I think there's several key criteria. So one, which Wells is well known for, because it's in all of our advertising, is the word done. It just, you do it with less than 1 click or 2 clicks, right? The easier it is to do, the more convenient it is for the customer. So critically is getting it done quickly. The second is that the customer wants us to understand them, know me. So if I have repetitive payments or I have things that happen regularly, don't make me have to do it all over again. It kind of goes back to the done theory. The third is what GPI and other new initiatives include, which is obviously it's easy to initiate. It's visibly transparent from both a fee perspective and a pricing, processing perspective. And ultimately also, with GPI we offer this tracker capability where you can follow the payment like a FedEx transaction or a UPS transaction end to end. So it's that kind of visibility that we want to offer that I think is critical. There's probably a few other things there too. We want the customer wants our identity protected. We think we can do that better in the environments we're building today. And finally, I think that there's a reality around respecting how things happen in different countries. And so the days people go to work, whatever they do, we have to respect that diversity in the way we deliver information, because you have to be sensitive about how you deliver information to different communities and what you extract from different communities. So I think that the whole data management piece is going to be much more, we're going to have to make it much more human and less quantitative.
George, this has been great. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, thank you for having me here today. As you can see, I'm very excited about what's going on in this industry now.
And thank you for watching.